of the staff shortages, it takes longer and longer for people to arrive. So that makes you the waiter. All right. It's a little joke, but that's what I got. Who else has good and blessing to share with us? Anybody? Yes, Jean. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Yeah, no, I get that. I enjoyed it with my sons. If they ever produce grandchildren, that would be great. Right, I know. Anybody else? Yes.
I had my New Year review at work today, and
Hey, yeah, that to a little bit of compensation for that kind of out of control inflation. I get it. Yes.
okay.
Just filled with joy.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Very good. Anybody else have anything to add? Let me think. What have I been? Maybe Avi has a new job. We'll see what that. We'll see. It looks good right now. We'll see what it looks like next week. So that's all very exciting. So it's time for us to bring ourselves together, not only as a community, but also as a spiritual entity. And we do that with light. And it's my privilege to invite up Brandy Hunter to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Thank you. Amen. Praised are you, Adonai, whose presence fills the world, who hallows us with mitzvot and inspires us to kindle Shabbat lights. May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen.
Amen. Or Zarua la tzadik u'lishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik u'lishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik u'lishrei lev simcha. U'lishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik u'lishrei lev simcha. U'lishrei lev simcha. La 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 la
Psalm 97, page 4. Adonai reigns, let the land exult, and the many islands rejoice. Dense clouds surround God. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne. And God's lightning illumines the world. Light is sown for the righteous, and radiance for the upright of heart. O you who are righteous, rejoice in Adonai, and acclaim God's holy name. Psalm 99 together. It is you who established equity, you who works righteous judgment in Jacob. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down towards God's footstool, for God is holy. Exalt Adonai our God and bow down towards God's holy mountain, for Adonai our God is holy. Havu l'Adonai b'nei elim, havu l'Adonai kavod v'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God give strength to this people. May God bless this people with peace. We turn now to Lecha Dodi on page 7, and I'm going to designate Don and Richard to be our ushers who will welcome in Shabbat with the doors when we hit the final stanza. All right?
Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. 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 Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, כי היא מקור חברך, והראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה. lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoriri, ki ba'orech kumi hori, uri shir daberi, kevod Adonai alakik nigla. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. כי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוך עולתו, אוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela.
So come in peace, you crown of your husband, with rejoicing and with joy, to those who are faithful, a treasured people. Come, O Shabbat, come, O bride. Psalm 92, a psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to give thanks to Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a harp, with voice and lyre in unison. Sadik katamar yifrach, kerez v'lebanon yizgeh, and the righteous, they shall bloom like a palm. They shall thrive like a cedar in Lebanon.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חיותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכנו ויומכנו וחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם מעל מיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה, בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמי רם בעלמה, תימרו, אמן.
Please rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch hu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach, HaMevorach, le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach, le'olam va'ed.
Ma'ariv Aravim. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, whose presence fills the world and whose word makes evening fall. God opens the gates of heaven, in wisdom makes time pass and seasons change. The stars in the sky move according to God's will. Adonai of hosts is the creator of day and night, causing day and night to alternate. May God govern us always to the end of time. Praised are you, Adonai, who makes this evening fall. Unending, too, is your love for your people, the house of Israel, Torah, mitzvot, laws and precepts you have taught us. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and night, we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. And then your love shall never depart from our hearts. Blessed is Adonai, who loves the people Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated, and if you feel comfortable, join us in the Via Hafta on page 13.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך וכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet ve'emunah. True, enduring, beloved and precious, awesome, good, and beautiful is this eternal teaching. This truth we hold to be forever certain. Adonai is our ruler, the rock of Jacob, shield of our salvation. Adonai, our God, you redeemed us from Egypt. You set us free from the house of bondage And for this, the people who felt your love sang songs of praise to you, God, living God, high and exalted, mighty and awesome, who humbles the proud, raises the lowly, who frees the captive, redeems the oppressed, who is the answer to all who cry out. All praise to God Most High, the source of blessing. Like Moses and Israel, we sing this song of rejoicing, the Micha Mocha, ladies and gentlemen.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedad b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדד בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה.
And as our day draws to a close, we offer a prayer for serenity and peace for the night to come. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Grant that tonight we lie down in peace, Adonai our God, and raise us up tomorrow, O Sovereign, to a life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war, famine, and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful Sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. O guard our coming and our going, that always we have life and peace. We praise you, O God, whose sukkah of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem. We turn now to tefillah. Again, if you're able, whether in body or spirit, please rise.
Adonai, sefatai titachu piyai mitegilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Lekonei HaKol. וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ושרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל הקרב והושיע, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו בלע, מלך ממית ומחיה,
ata l'chayo ha'ol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayech ha'kol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yechalu b'sela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and all who strive to be holy daily sing your praise. Praised are you, the holy God. Please be seated. We continue now with honoring Shabbat with Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Reitzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael. Israel, Adonai our God, show favor towards Israel and lovingly receive our prayers. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable to you, for you alone do we hold in reverence. Modim. And we give thanks to you, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation in every generation. We thank you and we recite your praises. Let all the living affirm you and praise your name as the God of our salvation and help. Praised are you, Adonai. Goodness is your name. All praises to you. We turn now to Shalom Rav. We'll conclude with a song for peace, and then we'll take a few moments for our own silent meditations and prayers.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon bechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru v'imru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So, moments before this service began, Tanya shared with me that she is writing an original musical composition. That was a mistake, a big mistake. Not because I'm going to put you on the spot. No, I'm not going to do that to you. You don't have to do anything. But because it inspires me to share with you my musical composition. Now, this musical composition, I admit it's only the lyrics, but I am using a Jewish composer for my music. And if I mess that up, well, I apologize to Edward Pola. But here it is, my song. Thank you for giving me the courage to sing this song. It's the most wonderful time of the year, with kids waving lulavs and visiting the moshav and eating bagels with schmear. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be guests to be hosting and sukkah photos posting and sitting in the rain. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be ancestor stories and tales of glory and roofs made of cane. It's the most wonderful time of the year. With sukkahs all glowing, eating food we've been growing, and loved ones all near. It's the best, most wonderful time of the year. What do you think?
Love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's exactly the response I anticipated I would get, and I appreciate you. And again, kudos for encouraging me to do things like that. Right. So, in the Hasidic commentary, Anaf Yosef, it is written about the holiday of Sukkot. Anyone who is God-fearing will make sure to have a poor person each day at his table and see him as if he is one of the forefathers that is invited on these days, and he should be given a nice meal. And if there is not a poor person close by to invite in, he should send food to them. And while preparing, say that this is for the guests that will come to the sukkah or would come to the sukkah. In the book Moed L'chol Chai, he adds that one who does not invite a poor person or provide for the poor is, as it were, cursed by their Father in heaven. Ooh, okay. In the Talmud, we learn Rav Yehuda said in the name of Rav, hospitality is greater than receiving the divine presence. For when Abraham invited the wayfarers to stop in chapter 18, it is written, and he said to them, Adonai, as if he were addressing God, if I have found favor in your sight, do not pass your servant by. And so he saw in the travelers God himself. And so the Zohar concludes, when people sit in the sukkah, the Shekhinah, the divine presence, spreads her wings over them for the sake of those ushpatim, those guests who dwell with them. Now, I love Sukkot, and I think it's a magical time for anyone who celebrates it, eating and sometimes sleeping out under the sky with the homemade decorations adorning the sukkah. We imagine our ancestors wandering in the desert for 40 years, living in temporary shelters and putting their faith in God and Moses and Aaron and Miriam and in the tribal elders to lead them to a better, more stable life. And we are instructed to invite others to join us. Ushpazim is the proper word, especially strangers and the poor, so that all may experience the joy of the holiday together, breaking down barriers between rich and poor and creating community among all who dwell nearby. After the holiday, we'll return to our comfy homes, our dining tables, and our beds as our ancestors ended their wandering and finally settled into their new homes in the land of Israel. And we look forward, however, to repeating this ritual again next year and to have a week of temporary living. But for some around us, I would insist on calling them neighbors, life in a temporary shelter or no shelter at all is not a happy annual holiday, but a challenging reality that occurs year-round. And it's hard to let Sukkot go by without thinking about the 1,200 or more people in Denton County who do not have a comfy home or a place to call their own. Like our ancestors, our homeless neighbors end up having to put their faith in God and in our civic leaders and the support of the community around them, with organizations like Denton Friends of the Family, the Salvation Army, and other groups to help them find a life that they have dreamed about, but for any number of reasons are unable to attain. So we should remind ourselves that the sukkah has a dual meaning. First, that it is a temporary shelter in an unwelcoming land, but also it signifies the promise of redemption, of a better life at the end of the journey. So how do we elevate this holiday by offering this kind of hope, this promise of a better life to our less fortunate neighbors? Homelessness is a very significant barrier to success for many in Denton County. As I said, about 1,200 people experience homelessness, and over 80% of women and children experiencing homelessness have also been victims of domestic abuse. Well, I'm glad to say at CKA, we already do some things to have the Shekinah embrace us. Through the efforts of our Tikkun Olam committee and the good offices of the many, many donors who contributed these high holidays, we sent a truckload of foodstuff to the Jewish Federation of Greater Dallas, Jewish Family Services. So that is one wing of the Shekinah that has come to cover us. And on Tuesday, I dropped off what I think was about 40 pounds of personal care products to Denton Friends of the Family, gifts donated by someone in our community, but not yet a member of our congregation and not even Jewish yet. That other wing of the divine presence that shields us and embraces us marks us from both sides. But while these efforts bless us, I think the wings of the Shekinah can be even broader and more encompassing. One Tikkun Olam project I know that we are going to be participating in is yet another drive to provide the often ignored but essential underwear and undergarments for the homeless. For all the good and spirit of Sukkot and Jewish compassion, we do this. But more importantly, we also need to support systemic strategies, efforts to provide long-term housing in a society and an economy where the cost of housing is among the most expensive expenses that any person or household has to face. And we need systemic solutions to prevent homelessness in the first place before it starts, and prevent families from experiencing homelessness by using a combination of all the experience and all the wisdom we have working with public and private property owners, mediation techniques, legal advocacy, flexible monetary funds to assist people that live at or below the poverty line. To learn what to do with that more complex project, I would encourage you to go to the site Serve Denton on the website. Just type in Serve Denton and read a very fine little essay called 7 Do's and Don'ts to Help the Homeless. And if you'd like to see it, I have the website page right here. This work is, I think it's critical all the time, but it's particularly important right now. Because coming out of the pandemic for some time now, the eviction moratorium that was created has prevented disaster for many families and saved thousands of lives by, providing housing for sure and safe and stable housing, which after all, according to the data I've seen, is considered to be the third most effective intervention for preventing the spread of COVID after vaccines and masks. Having your own place saves lives. And we know that many Denton residents will be unable to pay their back rent, and now that the moratorium is phasing out. So we need to be thinking about what we can do to help those people. And as powerful as a spiritual force as it is for us as Jews to come together to combat hunger and homelessness, we need to be aware that persistent homelessness also affects us all in practical terms. It affects our entire community. We all benefit when families and communities are safe and secure, when families are stable, so that parents can go to work and children can attend school. So as we finish up Sukkot and celebrate, please consider the mitzvah of your neighbors in need. And to learn more about the ways to address this crisis across our country and our nation, learn and join us in the many projects, simple and more complex, that we engage in trying to help those who find themselves in temporary shelters throughout the year. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. All right, anybody who wants a copy of this song, carefully revised, I'd be happy to share it with you. All right, it's time for our announcements. It's my delight to invite up our president, Steve Dakar. Thank you, Steve.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good evening.
Shalom.
I will honor you all by not singing a song of my choosing this evening. So hopefully that will be to everybody's benefit. As my daughter, no, it's actually a reflection on me.
Okay.
My daughter says that I even have a hard time playing the radio. I'm not sure what that means, but that's what she says. So with that in mind, I think I'll just go back over to our announcements for today and kind of go over a couple things for you that are going on here at CKA. So this Sunday, religious school is back. So please join us with your children and come and visit with us while our children are learning about all things Hebrew and about being part of members of the Jewish life, and stop in at Cafe Kol Ami and have a bagel and some schmear and do a little crocheting or knitting or whatever you want to do. Love to see you. So please come out and see us. For the schedule for religious school, you can find that on our website with all the information that you would need. We are also having a book signing coming up by Jane Dubrow. And I'm going to read this the way it's written, so I'm not going to ad-lib it, I promise. Have you ever tasted a food that triggered a long forgotten memory? Come and join poet and author Jane for a book reading and question and answer, and a book purchase signing in the evening of October 19th at 7 p.m. in Onegi Hall. Find out more about this phenomenon and other tasty tidbits influenced by your sense of taste. Get an excerpt from her book and all details, and please RSVP at our congregational website. In the spirit of Sukkot, our sisterhood is having a potluck dinner. It will be October 16th at 5:30 at here at the congregation. Bring a dairy dish to share and eat s'mores for dessert. We will eat, throw things, I guess beanbags, I guess, and eat more s'mores. Please go to the website and RSVP to let us know that what you'll be bringing and that you'll be there. So one of the things I'm sure that you that are a little bit my age or so remember Blockbuster and the label on there that said, please rewind before returning. Well, guess what? It's that time of the year for us as a Jewish community when we have Simchat Torah service coming up. Please rejoice with the Torah and honoring our summer rabbis and support staff on Tuesday, October 18th at 7 o'clock in the evening during Simchat Torah celebration. Come join us as we celebrate the completion of our annual cycle of reading the entire Torah. You can join the parading and dancing with the Torah in the 7 rounds around the sanctuary. So, please, we look forward to seeing you. We'll have some guests that'll be doing some readings for us, which we greatly appreciate. I think, Richard, you're going to be helping us out. Awesome. That's great. So, again, make sure that you come out, thank those that helped finish, filled in while Rabbi was on sabbatical, a well-deserved one, and thank them for their time and come and join in the wonder of Simchat Torah. As is customary here at Congregation Kol Ami, we always want to think about those that are in need of healing. So as I pass around the room, is there anybody that'd like to add someone to our Misha Barak list? Yes, ma'am.
Sally Stebbins and Joanne Axel.
Thank you. Mark, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Marilyn Colton.
Thank you.
Sarah Cockrell.
Thank you. May those and the ones that we also have here on our list and our members or part of our extended community also be included. Joanne Barnes, Joyce Bloom, Nellie Bovino, Richard Kurjan, Karen Brown, Sandy Cook, Mark Davis, Nancy Innerman, Harry Innerman, Francine Feingold, Michelle Griffith, Carol Jones, Molly Colleague, John Kaufman, Deb Kaufman, Toby Kennedy, Lauren Koenig, Alex Koenig, Gianna Deb. All right, Toby, help me out here. LaMonica, thank you. No, I get it. Deb Lydon, Mark Levine, Phyllis Laurel, Laura, really, boy, I am just, this sounds a repeat like the other day, doesn't it? I'm sorry, I apologize. Cheryl Mindinger, Paul Redwood, Helene Rubel, Bruce Sari, Jim Sabatka, Andrea Sandler, Dale Seaver, Anita Tipping Wheeler, Happy Waterman, Jeff Wawaro, Laura Lee Weeks, and Carrie Wisniewski. If you would join us either on the back of your program or on page 40 in the Siddur for Mi Kamoka, or Mi Shabarak, sorry.
Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
All right, so it is time now to go to the Aleinu, and let's see, who can I select out to honor? Jean, Would you come up and open the ark with me? Page 82. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Page 82, everyone.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושבי קרוב בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגוהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אחד, אמת מלכנו וחסומתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום במשאבותיו אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. The leaves fall. They fall as from afar. They fall with slow and lingering descent. And in the night, the heavy earth too falls from out of the stars and into the solitude. And thus all must fall. This hand of mine must fall, and lo, the other one. It is the law. But there is one who holds the falling infinitely softly in his hand, in her hands. And so it is at this time we acknowledge those individuals we have lost, whether it be in the past week, the past month, or at this season in years past. We express our gratitude for them, and we express our sympathy for those who mourn for them. I currently have no one listed as having connected to this community been lost in the last week. Is there anybody in Shiva? Anybody who lost someone the last 7 days? Okay. I also have no one listed for Shloshim. Has anybody lost someone the last month? So for our yard sites connected to this congregation this week, we want to honor Jerry Dietz, Tom Freeland, Thelma Fultz, Jerry Golden, Sam Hoffman, Ellis Cram, Abe Lappin, Charles Ledden, Rachel Seltzer-Lubarsky, Marilyn Neal, Sam Perlman, Geraldine Torrens, Hyman Virgo, Sam Silverlabe, and Stan Sonnebaum. Is there anyone else who knows of a yard site this week? Dave Richardson. Thank you. In honor of all these people, we turn to page 85. We rise together and we recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Hirutei v'yamlich Malchutei,
בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלל ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us say, amen. Please be seated. And our song for tonight is Lo Yisagoy. May we have a time of peace where all of our swords will be beaten into plowshares and no one will study war anymore. Lo Yisagoy.
Lo yisagoy el goy cheret, lo yilmedu ol milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cheret, lo yilmedu ol milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cheret, lo yilmedu ol milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cheret, lo yilmedu ol milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cheret, lo yilmedu ol milchama. Lo yisagoy el goy cheret, lo yilmedu ol milchama.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Chag Sameach.
Shabbat shalom.
Let's go on out, and if anybody would like to wave a lulav while it's still Sukkot, I encourage you to come do it. So come on, everyone. Oh, you're excited. I like that. Come on. After we've gotten our kids going. This was all off from the.